exactly.
Peter, you're right. Banks are already privately doing deals with people to substantially cut down on what things cost so people won't walk away.
They're not going to. I'm in favor of that. But what I'm not in favor of is the government overpaying for these mortgages and then doing the deals and throwing the losses on American citizens.
Yeah, what did you think of Bernanke saying he wants the government to pay premium prices?
Well, they have to pay premium prices, otherwise they would bankrupt all the entities they're trying to bail out. That's the whole joke. The government's trying to pretend they're going to make money on this thing. That's a crock.
Kelly, anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go ahead now and talk to Clifford in Pennsylvania. You're on the air with Peter Schiff.
Yes, sir, Mr. Schiff. You have my account already, and
okay, good.
Well, I'm down 15% in the last 2 weeks, and I spoke to Mr. Lou Kasowitz today, and I spoke about precious metals, and you're talking about precious metals, and he told me, what if it went down the way it can go down, and it's so volatile? How would I feel about that? Because I was concerned about the 15% loss, because I thought by going with you, I would protect myself from the U.S. dollar.
Well, you're protecting yourself from the long-term erosion of the dollar, not the day-to-day fluctuations in the market. I mean, you've had a big jump in the value of the dollar. We've seen a big drop in commodity prices in the last
Let me comment on this because, I'm not in business with our guest, Mr. Schiff. We have him on because he has a track record of being about 95% right on predictions. The establishment, and I appreciate your call, Clifford, has trained us. Okay, stay there then. The establishment has trained us to look at the market day to day, week to week, instead of on 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10-year graphs. Gold is going straight up. Commodities of every type are going straight up because they're still going to have value, and then that will be adjusted with currencies as they're devalued. Okay, and so I've read over Schiff. He's saying invest in Europe, invest in other places. That's not going to give you total protection. It's statistically going to give you a higher protection than being in the center of where the H-bomb's going off right here in the United States. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, it's just that right now, a lot of people are running towards the blast. Eventually, they're going to turn and run away from the U.S. But, yeah, a lot of these foreign assets are going down right now. But you know what? It's a great time to buy them because we're getting a great deal. It doesn't mean it's the absolute bottom, but a few years from now, we're going to look back at these prices and kicking ourselves because we didn't buy even more.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm about being in nothing but solid now because I don't trust any of it that's in any paper. Certainly, people should be conservative, but precious metals, all the way, you can't beat that. It could go up or down, but bottom line, it has intrinsic value because of intrinsic scarcity. Real fast, I want to get other callers in here. Finish up, Clifford.
Well, I mentioned the gold multiple times in the last 2 weeks, and I know it's going up and down, but I'm with you, and I'm looking for the protection of you said solid assets, and some of your managers don't think the same way.
No, the stocks that we're buying are real assets. We're buying utilities, we're buying oil and gas companies, we're buying commodity companies.
Yeah, they're not buying leveraged paper.
We're buying real stuff around the world and getting dividend yields.
Listen, I appreciate your call. You need to
stocks go down.
Clifford, you can call if you're in business with our guest. Talk to him then. Okay, we gave you 2 questions. Let's go. I mean, look, you're in a volatile market, folks. It's going to get bad. Okay, let's go ahead and talk to Chuck in Texas. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, my question was, in 1929, they tried to do a bailout, sort of, kind of. They had someone from J.P. Morgan buy up a whole bunch of stocks.
No, for a year it was a roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were able to make it look like it was okay, and then shortly after that, the market started going back to getting all crazy again, and then it just fell even harder than it was going to begin with.
Yeah, that's the whole point. They know that. They're just trying to shore up their assets and keep the whole thing going as long as they can. Let's get our guest take on that.
Yeah, I mean, that's no question about it. But what we have to do is we have to, keep our mind on the bigger picture and what's going to happen eventually to the value of the dollar. And the fact that right now, there is a global financial crisis because Americans, we borrow trillions of dollars from the world and we can't pay it back. And so the people around the world who loaned us this money, they're suffering because they've lost a lot of wealth. They bet big on Americans and they lost.
We also have an arrogant...
Ultimately, their economies are far healthier than ours.
We also have an arrogant, predatory government that is going to keep squeezing as the states go bankrupt. So watch your 6, folks.
Oh, I know. Look, some of the municipalities, there's another big municipality that's about to file Chapter 11. It'll be the biggest bankruptcy since Orange County. And, people are sitting in municipal bonds. They think they're safe. A lot of these municipalities are going to be going bankrupt in the next several years. years, and even the ones that don't, all you're going to get back is money that has very little value.
Also, the big brokerage firms have been roping into the pension funds and retirement funds. Folks, you're screwed. Get ready for the New World Order. Let's go ahead and take another call here. Let's talk to Nick in Brooklyn. You're on the air. Last caller for our guest. Go ahead.
Alex, how you doing?
Good. Go ahead and talk.
Listen, I got a quick question. Are you familiar with a guy named Lyndon LaRoche?
Yes, I just an hour ago said that I don't agree with his solutions of big government.
Oh, okay, so I must have missed that, because actually I just wanted to know, get your take on that stuff.
Well, I mean, he's right about a bunch of the problems, but I don't agree with their big government socialist solution, and we'll close out with Peter Schiff on that subject right now.
Well, I'm not even too familiar with the theories of Lyndon LaRouche. I mean, I know of him, but I haven't really studied any of his stuff. But yeah, I'm sure he's come to some big government type conclusions. And I find a lot of agreement, believe it or not. Some of the people on the far left understand that there's some real problems in this country. Unfortunately, they don't understand why these problems are here, and their solutions will just make the problems worse.
Look, I'm against the bailout, but if they're just going to give it to the private bankers, I mean, if we're going to have socialism, they might as well just give us. If they're going to devalue our currency, just give us all a $50,000 check. I mean, and that would spur the economy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just cut out the middleman of Wall Street. Yeah, just take the money and drop it directly from the helicopters to the people instead of funneling it to Wall Street.
Directly from the helicopters. All right, Peter Schiff, I want to get you back up in the near future. Europac.net. Thank you so much.
Sure thing.